Hey, hello everybody. Konnichiwa to you all whenever you may watch this, whether on demand or live. My name is Noah Foster. I'm just a simple man, a lifelong fan of wrestling, and I decided, because I have a few hours to kill before our next presentation, that to do a simple take regarding this week's episode of NJPWStrong, headlined by Jon Moxley versus Kenta for the IWGP United States Championship, over a year in the making. And did it deliver? In my opinion, damn right it did. So first off, on NJPWStrong, as I come to you 11:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday, February the 26th, we had a 8-man bout as the team I'm simply going to call the team of violence, led by one Brody King, partners the Regal Twins and ACH. They took on, of course, the LA Dojo faction of the Captain Clark Connors, the newest young lion to come into play, Kevin Knight, the DKC, who is now under Katsuyori Shibata, and back to the basic as young lion. And this team was led, of course, by TJP, the current X Division champion in Impact Wrestling. What I loved about this is the different clash of styles, but overall, the showcase for me was definitely the young lions fighting spirit and heart, as they all, especially young Kevin, he wanted to take on the, of course, monster in Mr. Brody King. This was a good back and forth match, some stiff, hard-hitting competition. At one point, literally, Kevin Knight getting the better of Brody King with a beautiful drop kick, knocking him off the apron. But the star of this match was definitely ACH, in my opinion, who kept on his Brody King appropriated attire this entire match, really channeling their captain, per se. I feel like that, honestly, I have no idea what's going on with Flip Gordon anymore, with Ring of Honor, this type of stuff. Brody King and ACH could be a very interesting and effective tag team. We also might just see maybe the birth of a new faction under NJPWStrong. Anyways, this match went down the line, of course. It was, of course, Brody King and his team picked up the win, but it was ACH who picked up the win, planting the DKC with his finisher in a good about 8-minute bout. So I think about this. I think about what the Regal Twins recently went through in a tag team rivalry and separate competition. I think about Brody King, who definitely is a guy I could see maybe challenging for the United States title in a future opportunity. And with this idea of faction warfare being a staple of NJPW, I could see this being founded more in NJPWStrong, maybe with a faction led by Brody King. As far as the DKC, Kevin Knight, and Clark Connors, the captain, goes, all the men, they show very impressively here. TJP, of course, leading by example. TJP being a freelancer, of course, being the current X Division champion Impact Wrestling. I thought this was a pretty good match and a nice way and pace to set for our opener of this NJPWStrong. As we moved on from that match, we go now into our next match, which was a singles bout that really surprised me. As, of course, we had young Ren Narita, not young Lion, but kind of on his own excursion, of course, led by Katsuyori Shibata. He took on Dirty Daddy, Chris Dickerson. And, of course, Chris Dickerson representing Team Filthy. This overall, I thought, was a really good, aggressive match. That young Ren Narita, excuse me, I keep thinking of him as a young lion. He really showcased strong fighting spirit here, going tit for tat, move for move, and basically taking everything Chris Dickerson could throw at him. At one point, Chris Dickerson locked him, I think, almost into a half figure four or scorpion. But Ren Narita refused to tap out, and at one point, one of the legs was controlled by Chris. They were down on the mat. Free leg, though, as Ren tries to control that leg. He didn't. At one point, literally slapping Chris Dickerson. I don't think it's ever a good idea to slap Chris Dickerson, whether you're on the mat or standing vertically with him. Just saying. But to Ren Narita's credit, he, of course, endured and lasted through all of this pain and punishment, including a ridiculous dragon screw. Ugh. I still believe that is one of the worst moves in all of pro wrestling that you can deal with and take. And as this match went down the line, it was Chris Dickerson who really channeled in his inner fighting spirit, taking everything Chris Dickerson could throw at him, and Ren literally softened him up and locked in a submission. And literally in the middle of the ring, Ren Narita has tapped out Chris Dickerson. I would call that an upset, personally. I mean, this is the guy that I wanted to get at least one win back in Best of Super Juniors 2019, and he didn't. But somehow he pulls off the win here against the Dirty Daddy, Chris Dickinson. I was pleasantly surprised by this result. And again, it just shows the incredible growth in overall wrestling performance that Ren Narita has obtained during his excursion that's still going on right now. His second win under NJPWStrong, second win under New Japan Pro Wrestling, period. And honestly, I would call this an upset. I did not expect this result to happen. So where does Chris Dickinson go from here? Well, Team Philly are still going to lead by example. I feel like they still believe they are the strongest faction overall in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And now that Ren Narita, a guy of a few words, has conquered another huge challenge, I have to wonder what's next for him. I could honestly see him maybe going after, I don't know, Filthy Tom Lawler. I don't think that Team Filthy is done with Ren Narita by any means, but this was definitely an upset of the night for me. And this match went about also 8 minutes. So overall, it was a good show with a good prelude to, of course, our main event, as, of course, our main event was led by, finally, a match over 1 year in the making, as Jon Moxley and Kenta finally fought one-on-one for the IWGP United States Championship. And they had up to 60-minute time limit. This match went about for 15 minutes, and honestly, these two, they brought their A game, and it was a strong style affair. Both men literally gunning after each other, and it wasn't until Kenta took advantage on the outside with the briefcase, planted Jon Moxley head first on it with a DDT, staying on the offense, but Jon Moxley, he kept on fighting back. One point, literally short-arm lariating Kenta out of nowhere, turned him inside out, upside down. And then we go to the outside of the ring again after a torpe suicida, and of course, in a New Japan Pro Wrestling match with Jon Moxley, it wouldn't be a Jon Moxley match without a table in play. As Jon Moxley pulls out a table, Kenta gets the better of him, hitting him in the face with the belt, and literally sets Jon Moxley on that table, and then plants his feet through him off the top, double stomp through the chest, through Moxley, through the table to the floor, near count-out victory. As Jon Moxley just gets into the ring, Kenta stays on the offensive, setting up Moxley in the corner for his, of course, patented running drop kick into the corner, and it looks like he was going for the kill here as he goes to the top rope and another double stomp straight through Jon Moxley's chest for a nice near fall. Jon Moxley would not quit, would not relent. As this match continued, these men, they went from a striking game to a mat game as they tried to challenge each other for their submissions. Jon Moxley, of course, trying to lock in the Bulldog choke while Kenta tries to lock in game over on both arms, I might add. Neither man was able to succumb the other when it comes to locking in submission or put the man down long enough to try and get them to tap out. As this match continues down the line, at this point, they're literally just running into each other, and it looks like Kenta's about to pull off the DTS, only for Jon Moxley to counter into a quick snap around Death Rider DDT, planting Kenta for a nice near fall, as Kenta refuses to quit as well. As both these men continue to fight into each other, and we're at the 15-minute time limit, Kenta, resilient as ever, 0 Fs. This is effing Kenta, just saying. He literally flips Jon Moxley the bird, double bird, and Jon Moxley said, all right, I had enough of you, and finally hits an elevated Death Rider, double underhook DDT, and ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, Jon Moxley has retained the IWGP United States Championship against Kenta in a strong, over a little bit, 15-minute bout where both men gradually garnered respect for each other. Hey, TGS, how's it going? I decided to hold off on that for now till New Japan settles down and everything. I probably will do that, if not tomorrow, probably Sunday afternoon. So stay tuned. With that being said, I really enjoyed NJPWStrong. This was another great show. It's just a great hour of professional wrestling, strong showcased by everybody. And now you got to wonder, where does the IWGP United States Championship go from here now that Jon Moxley still has it, successfully retained it, and Kenta now, he has had his opportunity and come up short. With the fact that I know we got the New Japan Cup coming up in New Japan, I would not be surprised to see NJPW of America set up another New Japan Cup like they did in the inauguration of their series back in last year's August. But again, we're going to have to wait and see. Appreciate it, brother. But overall, a very incredibly aggressive, competitive, back and forth bout. Neither man let up on each other. They both left it in the middle of the ring. It was true one-on-one, no Bullet Club shenanigans. And at the end of the day, the man with the strongest will, I think, won the match. But I like the subtle respect shown and the fact they think about maybe one-on-one. I wouldn't mind seeing Jon Moxley versus Kenta too happen again. Really good stuff. But with that being said, we also know before the pandemic happened that one Zack Sabre Jr., he put his name in the hat to challenge Jon Moxley next after Jon Moxley successfully defended the title against Minoru Suzuki. That's the true king of pro wrestling. And I will always say that for life because I am Suzuki Goon Pro. Basically, I gotta wonder how that match might be revisited if the travel restrictions ever let up. And I honestly can see that being Jon Moxley's opponent down the line next for his title because that match never picked up. And as far as Kenta goes, Kenta, hey, he owns his spot. He owns pro wrestling. He owns Kenta's pro wrestling. And I honestly cannot wait to see this match happen again. I don't think this hurt Kenta in any way. And it definitely did not hurt the reflection or the identity of New Japan Pro Wrestling. As this shows, Jon Moxley is truly dedicated to be more involved in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Not to mention, he wants to be more thoroughly involved in defending this title. As truly Jon Moxley says, he owns New Japan. He owns this belt. So who's going to take the IWGP United States Championship off the Death Rider? Well, your guess is as good as mine. So with that being said, we literally are just under 3 hours for the start of the Castle Attack 2-day event. That will happen, of course, Saturday and Sunday. Night 1 being a showcase of grudge matches as we set up title matches for night 2. In case you're wondering, night 1 is literally a few hours away. Castle Attack occurs 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, February 27th, 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and February 27th, 7 a.m. Grand Meridian Time. And of course, it will be headlined by Red Mega, Kazuchika Okada versus Evil, as well as the match I'm looking forward to the most, Tomohiro Ishii versus the Switchblade, Jay White. So let's go ahead and slowly talk about what's to come. So our opening bout is going to be a 6-man tag as the United Empire continues their hostilities against the team of Tenkozy, with at the forefront the never openweight champion, the ace of New Japan, Hiroshi Tanahashi, getting ready to defend his newly won never openweight title against Great-O-Khan. During this entire road, it seems that basically the United Empire has gotten the better of the ace, and the Great-O-Khan definitely has a higher up when it comes to mind games and this idea of dominance against the ace, where he really could have just took him out the previous roadshow day, but instead he just sat down in front of him. What's up, Sandy? Sorry I'm late, but ready for Castle Attack, ready to pray for Jay's help. Ishii's ready to kill him. Oh, I'm going to talk about that. But as far as this 6-man tag goes, I feel like right here, it has to go in the favor of the United Empire to keep Great-O-Khan looking strong ahead of the inevitable never openweight championship match come night 2. So I'm going to go with the United Empire getting the win here. But I do wonder as I suddenly look at Jeff Cobb's expression, looking on, knowing Great-O-Khan's challenge the never-weight title. Does Jeff Cobb feel maybe a little envious of Great-O-Khan getting this opportunity and believes that he should be the one that should be never-weight champion or even getting this opportunity against the ace? Just some food for thought. And of course, Will Ospreay, he wants more gold, but is the never-weight title in his futures or is something else in his future? As Tenkozy, of course, they are continuing to do what they want to do, exhibiting why they are a great tag team. And I'm pretty sure Satoshi Kojima and Hiroyoshi Tenzan, they still want a piece of the Great United Empire. Just saying. Anyway, moving on from there, as we look towards the setup of the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championship match, we have singles bouts as Hiroki Goto takes on Tama Tonga and Yoshihashi, he takes on Tonga Loa. As I look at both of these bouts, I wonder, could this be 50-50 booking? Do you have GOD looked as the strongest here between these two bouts? Or do you give us a bit of a subtle surprise and have the challengers, Yoshihashi and Hiroki Goto, getting the best of both of these men? So looking at the statistics here, it definitely looks like Goto has better favor to win his singles exhibition ahead of time, as he literally is 5-0 in singles action, of course, against Tama Tonga, while Yoshihashi and Tonga Loa is apparently a first-time ever singles encounter. When it comes to New Japan, it's hard to go against the stats. I feel like Hiroki Goto is going to get the better of Tama Tonga here, as they did get the better of GOD during the last roadshow together as a team. But I feel like Yoshihashi with that fighting spirit and Tanga Loa being the silverback, this is going to be a real match of endurance. And I know that Butterfly Lock can come out of nowhere, but I feel like Tanga Loa, just to balance things out, will get the better of Yoshihashi because there's always going to be the external X factor, Jado. And I feel like he's got to come and play in one of these matches. So with that being said, my thoughts are that Tanga Loa beats Yoshihashi, but Goto gets the better of Tama Tonga, and we go on even playing field towards night 2. Thinking Ospreay and Cobb could be next challenger for IWGP Tag Team Gold. That'd be a very interesting thought because we know in New Japan that heel versus heel, heel versus face, or face-to-face dynamics, it works in all ways and can truly go that way. I mean, we had Dangerous Tekkers taking on GLD, and come the end of it, Dangerous Tekkers were the babyface. So I could definitely see that. And again, you want to raise the United Empire, that's one way of doing it, and maybe that's another aspiration that Ospreay might have for himself, as we wonder if he's ever going to defend his British Heavyweight Championship. Just saying. Anyway, as we move on from that match, we go into KOPW 2021, as voted on by the fans, where Toru Yano, the current KOPW 2021 holder, freaking Yano, he takes on Bullet Club's Crown Jewel, Chase Owens. This will be a Texas strap match, but the way to win will be you have to remove all 4 turnbuckle pads to be declared the winner. So the way I see it is this. We know how fast Toru Yano can take off a turnbuckle pad, folks. You take it off in 4 seconds. But I don't see this match only being 12 seconds. We also know how unorthodox, effective, unpredictable, and how freaking strong Toru Yano is when it comes to this KOPW thing. He freaking beat Bad Luck Fale in a body slam competition with the help of a bag of cement. You wonder what he's going to do with a strap in his favor. Is he going to just literally low blow Chase Owens? He's going to try and hang him over. Is Chase Owens going to try and tie him maybe with a separate strap in the barricade? But I feel like in this match here, looking at KOPW 2021 and what it stands for, it seems like it is literally the thing in New Japan made for Toru Yano. In fact, the match is in favor of his rules. So as much as I don't want to say it, I feel like Toru Yano is somehow going to once again pull it out of nowhere and beat Chase Owens in this KLPW 2021 match, despite Chase Owens representing professional wrestling for Texas. Kudos to him. What we got here? Being honest, already liking Yatsutaka Yano of Noah better than Toru Yano. Well, to be fair, he probably takes wrestling more serious, too. Hey, what's up? Not much. I just figured I'd talk a little bit of wrestling ahead of New Japan Pro Wrestling's next tour, Castle Attack, to kill us in time, because why not? But hey, welcome to the chat, and great to see you. Let me know any thoughts, questions, comments you have, and please feel free to share this with your friends. With that being said, let's move on to the 2 bouts I definitely am looking forward to, especially this one. How many times do you poke the bear thinking that you have everything in your control before it bites you in the ass? Well, I think that's the sell story here as we finally come to it. The Switchblade, Jay White, representing BC era, the real era, his era. He takes on Tomohiro Ishii. And this has been boiling and boiling up ever since NJPW's New Year's Dash, where Tomohiro Ishii pinned Jay White, and Jay White basically was gone for a month. Then he comes back, and basically he illustrates that for a moment I doubted myself, but no matter what, I am King Switchblade. I am in control. This is my era. Tomohiro Ishii, you are just a puppy that I am just literally dangling a biscuit for. You cannot get the better of me. But we've seen how short-tempered Tomohiro Ishii can be, and those that challenge the Stone Pit Bull, they live to regret it. With that being said, Tomohiro Ishii, he's already beaten Jay White twice. Keep in mind, folks, Tomohiro Ishii stopped Jay White from winning last year's G1 block. And honestly, some people call that an upset. With how many times we have seen the shenanigans between Gato, Jay White, and Ishii play out around the ringside area, after matches, the teasing, the backstage assaults, the backstage holdbacks, literally barricading a door at one point to prevent Tomohiro Ishii from literally apprehending Jay White. This match can truly go either way. But I look at it around this time last year where Jay White was involved in a solo grudge match with Sonata, and he got the win. Sonata and Tomohiro Ishii, though, are two totally different wrestlers. And Tomohiro Ishii is one of those that I still can't believe has not been IWGP Intercontinental or Heavyweight Champion, but is a multi-time, never overweight champion. I look at this match ahead of the New Japan Cup 2, and I wonder who can go in with more momentum? Who needs to go in with more momentum? Because keep in mind, folks, after Castle Attack, we have nothing but the anniversary show, and then the New Japan Cup officially starts. With that being said, can Jay White break the statistics here? Or once again, will Tomohiro Ishii brutalize the man and humble him and say, kid, you got game, keep building it? I truly believe this match can go either way. I don't think it's going to go to a draw as a 60-minute time limit. But looking at what's going on right now with Bullet Club, this whole era thing, and the New Japan Cup coming up, and all the external factors, and the fact we have not seen brass knuckles used yet against Tomohiro Ishii, you gotta consider the external force. I feel like here that Jay White, especially who just re-signed with New Japan, he's gonna find a way to pull out a win. I don't think it's gonna be 3 times in a row. He's gonna live to regret the fight that Ishii's gonna put him through. But I feel like right now, especially after the fact he's coming off Wrestle Kingdom, literally the biggest match of his career, losing, I feel like Jay White needs some momentum going into the New Japan Cup that made people believe he should be a winner of. So, looking at going forward and what it can build, I think Jay White is going to survive this barely, but pull out the win. I mean, heck, he did against Minoru Suzuki, just saying. And Minoru Suzuki still owes Jay White one, and I'm still waiting for that match. Which leads us to the main event of the night. As the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada, he takes on Evil. And subtly, this is a match more so Okada has been wanting ever since Evil beat him in, might I add, the New Japan Cup Finals last year, and of course, joined Bullet Club. And they have not met in singles action since. It was subtly teased that we were going to get this match impromptu, but of course, Evil, he had the last word and the last laugh, assaulting Okada. And ever since then, these mind games have continued, and Evil more so has been on top. With that external factor, Diktogo in play, you gotta wonder, though, with Okada and the incredible match he gave us at Wrestle Kingdom, probably the most serious he's been ever since starting this whole money clip era of finishers. I look at this, and I'm like, he cannot beat Evil with the freaking money clip. If he's gonna beat Evil, he's gotta pull out the Rainmaker again. While this match does not feel as personal as it did against Will Ospreay, I feel like, especially with the New Japan Cup coming up and the history with the current champion, Okada kind of needs this win here, in my opinion. So I feel it's going to be a really good bout. I hope he does not win with that stupid money clip submission. But I feel like right now it's time to slow down all this Evil momentum, Bullet Club-wise. I don't think both members of Bullet Club are basically going to win night one. That's basically what I'm bringing this down to. I think Okada's going to pull out the win here and move on towards maybe trying to actually win the New Japan Cup this year, and we finally revisit Okada versus whoever might be champion. At this point, it's got to be Kota Ibushi for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Just saying. I fear for Jay, if he wins, he'll barely walk out of Osaka Joe. Yeah, that's true, but either way, he's still going to have a mouth, he's still going to have bragging rights, and he's going to have momentum heading towards the anniversary show and the New Japan Cup. Naito versus Ibushi for Intercontinental title. Yeah, I know, it's weird when you consider the history of just downright bad luck that Tetsuya Naito has had with the white belt. But in an effort to stop Kota Ibushi from uniting these two belts, he started this whole hold the two belts at the same time thing. He wants to be the one to break that all together. And I feel like right now, Naito has the most history with that kind of title since Shinsuke Nakamura at this point. It kind of writes itself. Almost feels like a weird love story. So looking at that match, I'll have more thoughts towards it once I know for sure Naito's health. And I see more so like what can I consider maybe happening with the winner of that match ahead of an anniversary show. Main event, no matter what, have Okada on top. I mean, again, it has been a super long time since we've seen that leading guy of New Japan Pro Wrestling, the Rainmaker in true form, Kazuchika Okada, on top, let alone anywhere near it. I mean, he hasn't been involved anywhere near the IWGP Heavyweight Championship since closest opportunity he maybe had closest to trying getting it was the G1. Came up short in that. New Japan Cup, Evil stopped him in that. Wrestle Kingdom wasn't involved nowhere near that picture. And the guy that he beat last year is now the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, along with the Intercontinental Champion. But I digress. With that being said, those are my solo thoughts going into just night one. As again, night two, it'll be headlined, of course, with only championship matches. Of course, being main evented by Golden Star Kota Ibushi, current double champ, IWGP Heavyweight and Continental, and of course his challenger, Tetsuya Naito, challenging for the Continental Championship. It almost makes me wonder if we're trying to save the Heavyweight Championship for after New Japan Cup, or do they swerve us this year and do something wild, an anniversary show where you don't do the traditional IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion versus the IWGP Heavyweight Champion? Considering if Kota Ibushi has both belts, like, how does that come into play here? There's a few things to consider when it comes to this year's anniversary show, which, might I add, will happen because last year, folks, we didn't even get it. Remember, we didn't even get an anniversary show last year. So the script could be completely written upside down with this year's show. But it's nice to have a more normal big event schedule this year in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And I'm personally looking forward to it. With that being said, that's really all I have to say right now on what was an amazing show tonight on NJPWStrong, headlined by Moxley and Kenta, and what's to come literally now in 2.5 hours on New Japan's Castle Attack, Night 1. So thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. And also, I hope you all enjoy the show yourself. If you haven't already, come join my Explorations League. Let your predictions and opinions be heard. I'd love to hear from you. Interesting that before the 22nd, we had no Suzuki-gun at Castle Attack. Now on night 2, we get at least one rep. Well, again, unfortunate circumstances as ticking time bomb in his way of fun, Hiromu Takahashi. He basically, again, this is the risk you take in wrestling. Injuries happen. He had to relinquish the title, which I feel was very noble, humble, and the right thing to do. And now, of course, we have one member of LIJ, one member of Bullet Club, and one member of Suzuki-gun involved in the triple threat title picture. And I feel it's very noble here. Let me go ahead and go on a sub-10 before I close, because you do bring up a valid point. As you're right, during the road to Castle Attack, where it was supposed to be originally Hiromu Takahashi and Bushi versus the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, Taiji Ishimori and El Fantasmo, that, of course, was changed at the last moment, where my boys in Suzuki-gun, El Desperado, and Yoshinobu Kanemaru, they won and they righted a wrong as the so-called kick basically bit ELP as it was inadvertently integrated into his own partner, and Taiji Ishimori was knocked out ever since. But it was a very competitive, strong style event, and I really enjoyed that title match, and I felt like it was right to give Suzuki-gun back the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles. Yeah, what's going on? I figured why not. So thanks for joining DimX BVG. Friday Night Live, why not? We got some wrestling coming up in 2.5 hours. I don't know if I'll do this every Friday, but we'll wait and see. Either way, three-way, Bushi or ELP will win. I don't know about that. I would not count out El Desperado. Let's think about this. El Desperado took his wrestling to a whole nother level last year, and I'm not just talking about against Hiromu. In the early going, he took Tomohiro Ishii in the opening round in the first ever never openweight New Japan Cup. And we also, of course, had that amazing Match of the Year match with Hiromu and El Desperado in the finals of Best Super Juniors last year, where literally we got a new face of El Desperado, as this match went further than any other match we've seen in Best of Super Juniors in a long, long time. I would not count out El Desperado. In my opinion, he feels like a guy that could be a future leader of the junior heavyweight division. But with the fact he does have the tag team belts, I do see your point. And while ELP, scumbag of the world, will do anything to win, that kick has proven to be effective. Bushi's one of those that I feel like in big match situations, he always falls short. But it would be a humble gesture if Bushi won the title on behalf of Hiromu, brought the gold back to LIJ, and honestly won the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. The bottom line, I feel like this triple threat right now, it could be match of the night come night 2, and it truly could go any person's way. That's what I love about New Japan Pro Wrestling. The predictability is not necessarily there, but you know you're in for a great night of professional wrestling, and regardless of the results, they're going to surprise you, and they'll lead to something down the line too. Case in point, sorry, Taiji Ishimori, no longer the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champion, and the former Junior Heavyweight Champion not even involved in this title picture. Talk about a rough 2021 for a Bone Soldier. Just saying. Anyway, I think that's about enough rambling thoughts for now, unless somebody else has any other lasting thoughts, comments, questions, suggestions, fantasy bookings to say. So I appreciate all of you for tuning in this short special NJPW live simple take and pre-take after what has occurred tonight on Strong and what's to come on Castle Attack. Again, you want to know more about me? Know this, folks. I'm just a simple man and a lifelong fan of wrestling in all its forms. Good, bad, big, ugly, small, independent, Japanese, English, you name it. Follow me on Twitter. Let's talk wrestling. Let's just engage in conversation. Let's respect one another's opinions. You can find me at nfoster1916. I'll give you some morning motivation, a nice hello to your day, and wrestling memorabilia, mostly autographs, like I just got this one. Hikaru Shida. I love Hikaru Shida, by the way. She is an amazing champion. You'll find more of that stuff on my Instagram, NFoster1916. And keep following the Civil YouTube channel for fun, sometimes scheduled, and out of nowhere, live content, too, at Superman Studios, youtube.com/C/NoFoster210 for all things wrestling. And shout out to Major W family on Twitter. And as always, folks, I'd like to close. Please remember this, encourage this, live this, embrace this. There are no winners. There are no losers. There are no bettors. There are just fans with their own opinions in wrestling. At the end of the day, support one another, respect each other. No matter what happens in the industry, let's just enjoy life and enjoy wrestling. Simple as that. And I'll see you, Elizabeth. You take care and good night, too. And I agree, again, really good match. With that being said, folks, thanks again for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. Hit the bell notifications on this channel. Hit the subscribe button. There's a lot of great content coming up. Anniversary edition of AEW Spark. There will be definitely a special guest on the next AEW Spark following that as we go into Go Home Week for AEW's Revolution, where I will have, of course, AEW Spark aftershock coverage of that pay-per-view in full too. There will be further wrestling content as we work in and collaborating with other wrestling channels as well. So stay tuned for more on that. And until next time, take care, enjoy life. Tomorrow's there guaranteed. Treasure your families, enjoy wrestling, protect yourself. We will get through this pandemic era lifestyle together to enjoy wrestling freely and safely one day among each other en masse. I appreciate all of you. I hope you all enjoy your weekend. And whether it's wrestling filled or not, just take care. And at the end of the day, have a wonderful night. As again, it's night here in the States. Cook again, yo. And sayonara.